Hello and welcome to today's video. If you are a woman who is over 50, or maybe you are a woman who is trying to navigate her way through menopause and you are finding holidays one of those life experiences that is hard to navigate these days with weight loss or weight gain or sustaining a lifestyle approach, today is a video designed just for you. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips to help you avoid holiday weight gain and help you create a plan for yourself where you can manage the holidays without feeling like you're missing out, but also not feeling like you have to leave the lifestyle that you love. So welcome back if you are one of our OG subscribers here on our YouTube channel, and welcome if you are new. If you haven't yet done so, we always ask that you please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're leaving me comments and letting me know maybe which one of these 3 tips best served you today. So let's get into today's topic. It is very difficult to avoid holidays because they seem to be rolling around all the time. And how do we manage ourselves around a holiday or a celebratory event when we have a very specific lifestyle that we are enjoying and maybe seeing results from, but we also want to be able to maintain that and also participate in the life that we are living with our friends and loved ones and maybe acquaintances? I'm going to share those 3 tips with you today. But first, what I wanted to do is share with you an actual list of holidays. And pardon me, but these are just US general holidays. But this is a list of holidays that we tend to celebrate. Like you see here, they come every month. So today's video is being recorded in the early part of January. So we are just exiting what I call the seasonal winter holidays that start in October and run all the way through the first of the new year. But look at all these other holidays that we could very easily fall into a celebration type of event where we are expected to step away from the lifestyle that we've created for ourselves that we love, and we can find ourselves partying or participating in someone else's celebration just because it is deemed a holiday. So we're going to discuss how to manage that and how to fit that into our life so we don't feel like we're always missing out on life, but we're also not stepping away from the life that we love. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you all before we get too deep in today's video is the other things that we are often asked to participate in. Things like sporting events. Super Bowl is right around the corner. Maybe it's the World Series. Maybe it's the final, whatever it is with basketball. I don't know. There's some final 3 or something like that with basketball that goes on that we could celebrate as well. Birthdays, retirements, graduations, baby showers, engagements, weddings, anniversaries, funeral events are oftentimes where food and alcohol are present. And we didn't really have any plans on using that time as a time to step away from our own food and maybe alcohol consumption goals, vacations, office parties, etc., etc., etc. Make sure you stay tuned for tip 3, because this is where I'm going to explain to you and share with you how I navigate these type of events in my own lifestyle. So let's get started with the tips. Tip number 1, define what celebrating a holiday means to you. If we really think about what a holiday is, it's usually an event that has nothing to do with food per se. But as a society, food and alcohol are always the things that are part of what we do to celebrate. So you should, as the woman who's trying to stick to a lifestyle and not be defined by all these holidays that we have to hop in and out of, you get to decide how you want to celebrate them and what those celebrations look like for you. So if it is a holiday, let's say maybe it's a religious holiday and you're celebrating it for the religious reasons, does food and alcohol also play a part in how you define celebrating that holiday? If it does, fantastic, celebrate the holiday. If it doesn't, then go back to why it is you are choosing to spend your time celebrating that holiday. Oftentimes we also stay victim to celebrating holidays because we did it when our maybe kids were younger, right? So things like St. Patrick's Day, or maybe we have a certain way that we celebrated Easter and it was around Easter candy and Easter baskets. And we as adults have not stepped away from that celebration type of event also. So now is a really good time as women who are now stepping into our full mature independent state. A lot of us are now in that 50 plus category, even in that menopausal season where a lot of these celebratory definitions really are not serving us the way they used to, we have the opportunity to redefine that and celebrate that how we choose. So the first thing that I always recommend is define how it is you are celebrating a holiday. And is it working for you and what it is you say you really want for your life? Tip number 2 about holiday weight gain. Oftentimes, holiday weight gain happens because we don't have an exit strategy. If you're celebrating Christmas, or if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, or if you are celebrating Easter, or maybe you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, it's one day out of an entire year. If you celebrate that day, make sure that when that day is over, you have exited the celebration. We often find ourselves falling victim to seasonal holidays that tend to simultaneously run into one another, and we never stop celebrating. That is one of the biggest reasons why so many people feel so defeated and are struggling so hard with weight gain and bloat and all of the remnants of the end of the year holiday season, is because they are stacked so closely together that we tend to celebrate for a series of weeks and not just independent days. So I always recommend that you go into a holiday with an exit strategy. Define what day that celebrating ends for you and how it is you participate in exiting. For a lot of us here in this community, we very willingly just throw a lot of food and celebratory type of things in the trash can, and we just dismiss any leftovers that we might have laying around as well. So tip number 2, have an exit strategy. And tip number 3 is one of my favorites. I started practicing this when my kids were little, and we were always at some sort of a weekend birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese or one of those type of places. And so what I really figured out is that every weekend someone's having a birthday party, and they're just general people in our lives, like students that my kids go to school with, or maybe it's a neighbor down the street, and they're not really significant friendships or people in our life. And so I call that the little Johnny rule. I get to decide if I'm invited to an event that's not close and near and dear to my heart, how do I celebrate? And this is where the little Johnny rule comes into place. I choose not to celebrate at the same level that the person that's throwing the event is celebrating, meaning they're just acquaintances of mine. Do I need to eat little Johnny's pizza? Do I need to eat little Johnny's cake? Do I need to have little Johnny's ice cream? When it's just a random celebration that's thrown and everyone's invited. And then when my family, people who are close to me, near and dear to my heart, are celebrating something, I fully celebrate. I will never miss a slice of cake at my kid's wedding. We always celebrate close family members in the full celebratory way. But when it's just a general person, an office party, maybe someone's having a retirement party, maybe someone's daughter's friends, cousins having a baby shower and you get invited, you do not have to fully partake in how it is they're choosing to celebrate. You can exercise the little Johnny rule. So these 3 tips are the easiest way that I have found to avoid what a lot of people really start to feel stressed out about and dread about celebrating holidays, and that is weight gain or bloat or just generally not feeling well. So how do we start practicing these now so that when the heavy holiday season hits us again at the end of the year, we're prepared for it? I always say that we are and we do what we practice on a daily basis. So when some of these holidays start coming around, or some of these celebratory events that maybe you aren't really planning in your life fall on your lap or in your mailbox as an invitation, practice these 3 tips. Tip number 1, use a definition of what celebrating is for you. Rule number 2, have that exit strategy in place. If it's a Sunday afternoon baby shower, as soon as you leave that baby shower, you have stopped whatever celebrations were going on and whatever exceptions you have planted in your lifestyle for that day. When you leave, they are done. And then also make sure that you have the full confidence and you're giving yourself full permission to use the little Johnny rule. If it is someone who is not near and dear to your heart, someone who is not a close friend or relative, and you get invited just because they're throwing out invitations, you do not need to participate in the same way they're celebrating just because you got an invitation. In those type of events, I always say, I'll just have a glass of water or a cup of coffee or something that's not going to knock me away from my lifestyle. And then I'm present with the people and I don't have to be present with the food. These 3 tips will help you start practicing how it is you show up on holidays so you don't have to feel stressed out or you don't have to feel discouraged about what's going on in celebratory events because you are going to have your own back. Thanks so much for watching today. I appreciate you guys being here and spending time with us in our community. If you're interested in learning more about what we do here in the For Today's Aging Woman community, I will leave a card for you to click so you can get on our email list and find out more about what we have going on as far as courses and coaching in our community. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.